that enabled the conversion to be taken, and just to give them that slim outside chance. And then Hoyt sprung free down the far side. I'm sure Hartbury will be absolutely crestfallen. Although they haven't lost the game, they had it very much in the bag.
I tell you what, it's worth saying that both of these teams need a huge round of applause for the way they've played this game. And I know somebody's going to win it, but both of them can hold their heads high, because I don't think if you're not here, you won't really know how difficult it is to play that kind of tempo match in the conditions that we've got here.
So the excitement is never ending. Rugby Travel Academy come out with their beautiful yellow shirts against the sky blue shirts of St Michael's. St Michael's side, a team brimming with Leinster representatives. A couple of the guys are returning here for their second year. They had a really good competition last year. And that tight huddle from those St Michael's boys. As we said last year, they were pretty unlucky to not proceed through to some of the higher honours games. Andy Serkin, the coach.
Get some fluid in, mate. How good, bro? How good?
So RTA get this game underway, playing into the wind in this first half. St Michael's trying to work their way out of this half. They've had a couple of cracks at making a dent in the RTA defences, but then go aerial, and a bit of a knock on there. So St Michael's have certainly gained a huge advantage, streaming into the RTA half, playing out the back, drop the ball on the toe there, and one could say that's been a really good exit for St Michael's, Murray.
Oh, absolutely. I think the box kicks are a really good strategy in the wind. It swirls up there, and it's quite hard to actually defend against, and causes all sorts of chaos if you don't get it clear out of theirs. That's just done there for RTA.
Well played there at the line-out by RTA, waiting for St Michael's. So we've just had word from the organisers. Westlake will go through by dint of having scored the first try. 19 all, 3 tries apiece. But they got themselves onto the score sheet with the first try. So that is absolutely cruel way to exit the cup tournament for Hartbury?
Oh, that's a tough one to swallow if you're the Hartbury coaches. I tell you what, they thought they were in with about 12 minutes to play, and Westlake somehow came back, and yeah, it's a cruel way to, but we've got to do it somehow. Especially in the sweltering heat, it's almost impossible to expect the kids to play extra time.
So St Michael's overthrow this line out, and RTA's sweep on the ball. Oh, St Michael's making real pests of themselves here, forcing some real pressure onto the RTA side. Oh, the ball ends up in the hands of Pat Wood. Chad Lukey's this live wire scrum half for the RTA side. So an all-important scrummage here. Both sides will want to lay down a marker early on. Spins around, tight head-up wheel on both sides. Pretty direct play from St Michael's here. Oh, pulled out the back. Looked to slide through the gap. And then back into the arms of the big man. A little chip over the top. And it's rumbling towards the corner. So decent field position, but giving up possession, Murray.
Yeah, it's an interesting tactic. I think they've obviously decided they want to try and work the territory in the early part of the game. One thing I always note with these Irish schoolboy sides is how good their ruck speed is on attack. They're really good at the phase play, and I was actually surprised they kicked it away. I thought they had good momentum.
So an earlier transgression, slight knock on at the line out there. Referee picked up on that. So scrum feed, Chad Lukey's. So scrum goes down. Matthew Zondar comes away with the ball, but he's sent back from where he came. Really good tackle there by Dave Walsh. And that's a high up and under. David Price fields the ball for St Michael's. So St Michael's playing with advantage, penalty advantage. So they can afford to give this one a real go. But they're playing absolutely route one up the guts here.
Good little +1 there on the pod system, just giving that tip pass to the outside forward in that triangle. Gives them a nice momentum.
So looking to keep their foot on the throat. And not flirting with the corner flag, but leaving his forwards about 8 metres to go here, which is is a pretty big ask against this well-drilled RTA side. St Michael's need to get the ball to the back of this maul. They're going to need to work this one away. I think RTA are going to come up with a turnover here. Yes, they do. Getting some questions in the chat. And Westlake and Hartbury finished 19 all, 3 tries apiece. But Westlake scored the first try, so they will advance to the Cup semi-final.
So I'm assuming replaying the E.G. Jensen. I'm not sure how it's...
So RTA feed the scrummage. Sharp pass there. It's high and hanging. Oh, just put a foot on the line as he gathered that ball. David Price. So RTA hooker Stefan van den Heever. Good throw and a good take. Really good set phase play here. Van den Heever now over the ball. It's a really good drive by RTA. Chad Lukey's got swallowed up into that. He's had to fight his way free. Ball eventually going to ground and he goes aerial. It's high, not too much forward momentum on the ball. Oh, and it's dropped into the hands of the St Michael's player. Price really giving it a go, pinned his ears back, but put a foot on the touchline, right in front of the AR there. So it's like walking a tightrope down that touchline. So Van den Heever will look to repeat the last set phase they had. Solid work. St Michael's opting not to put anybody up in that one. RTA breaking apart a little bit, but safely looking after the ball. And a bit of a pitching wedge there, but lobbed it straight into touch.
He's just misread the breeze a little there.
So with about 10 minutes gone, we have a real arm wrestle. Still 0-0. Major part of the game has been played down in the RTA half, but St Michael's with a fairly stiff wind at their backs. Some decent play there from James Sherwin at 9. St Michael's really looking to play, holding the ball up. And again, James Sherwin getting himself involved. It's his second year here at Patana in the World Schools Festival, and also a Leinster representative.
Hey, you know what? That's how Alex Ferguson.
So St Michael's, if they have learned anything from watching the Hartbury game, they'll want to make sure that they try and take advantage of all of the territory and possession they get in the red zone.
If we had it, but then we started to rip them apart, and we always did something fancy and just popped it up. Yeah. And if we just played simple like that, it wasn't hard when we started to get it right. It was just catch pass and change into the game, could we?
Good set play by St Michael's. They're bearing down on the RTA line, and they have scored. The big man comes up with the ball.
Oh, but him, Luke Metz,
And we know from the previous game, very important to get that early score.
I think that the difference with the St Michael's execution in the line-out was crucial. It was really slick move, great throw, came down off the top, great carry, and over he went. Really good, simple and effective.
Oh, the big man sensing where the line was and rolled over, and the conversion is good. So St Michael's open up a 7-0 lead. Just about 12 minutes played here at the Patana Sports Club. And Joe Quigley just confidently knocks that one over.
Yeah, no, we basically didn't have the ball.
High and hanging back on the wind, and RTA come up with the ball. Some pretty good line speed from from St Michael's there.
Oh, it might have been that guy. That guy there, because he was on the sideline a lot.
Big meeting between Luke Sass and Charlie McConnell there, the two number 12s.
Craig's a dick.
Penalty advantage for RTA. Oh, great show and go there.
He's overthrown it. Should have just given the simple inside ball.
Could have just given a very simple pass there, but went for the big one. He got a man right on his shoulder.
Well, you started to say you're going to win ugly.
Yeah, I mean, that was, I mean, we probably played, actually, didn't play too great for it. Those 16 minutes.
So Sherwin puts a high bomb up, well fielded.
Good try too, with lots of phases. Yeah, it does. Never hang your head.
You've got to go back through the number 1 channel, right?
So Lukey's pulls it back into his 22, and they go deep. Big long wide pass. Oh, and they've dropped it onto the toe, and that's going to rumble in goal. He's probably made a mistake there by touching that down, because it would be a goal line dropout as opposed to a kick back.
Yeah, I think if he'd shown a little bit more composure there, he could have ended up with the scrum back where the kick came from.
However, Murray, all of that is easy said from the cheap seats up here in the grandstand.
It's about 10 degrees cooler up here as well.
And the iced coffees have just been delivered. So the goal line dropout. David Price drops it inside. And Dylan McNeice, Leicester and Ireland, just strides through the defence there. The big man, there was no stopping him there. So Price drops it infield. Just a fend, but there was a big gap there. And Dylan McNeice in for the try, 12 points to 0.
Hell of a game. Hell of a finish anyway. What happens, you know?
Having played a few of the top Irish schools with my academy, I can tell you if you don't kill the ruck speed and their territorial game, these Irish sides can be ruthless. They're really well coached and really well drilled, and you have to find a way to disrupt their momentum. Otherwise the scoreboard pressure can start piling up.
So Quigley adds the extras, and St Michael's jump out to a 14-point lead as we head into this first half water break. on just over 16 minutes. Quigley just off one step there, swings his leg through it. St Michael's under the gazebo, touchline side, just getting as much shade as they possibly can, trying to cool down. But there's very, very little respite from these 34-degree heat. Coach Andy Serkin will be pretty happy with that early showing there. As we've said, a fairly experienced St Michael's side. They've got a number of players played in the tournament last year returning, and plenty of Leinster
but it's very different.
Representatives.
where you just, there's almost no
They've looked really polished so far. Execution's been spot on.
Okay, well, next one on, and so you never have the same team together for any.
So as we look at this beautiful vista in front of us, the Patana Sports Resort. It's a fantastic sporting facility. And Len Olivier will be speaking to his charges as they make their way back onto the field. The other players from RTA in the stands here. Some of the younger guys playing in the open competition.
So it's a training ball, so I don't know if you know how.
St Michael's have also used the wind well. I think they've kicked into the corner and they've made it very hard for RTA to get out of the 22.
Jaden DeLuy and RTA come up with the ball, fighting really hard in contact, but Fraser McKenna ragdolls him backwards. Oh, and a lovely bounce of the ball there, trying, doing everything he can to keep that ball in field, but the AR there raises the flag, and for the time being the threat is killed by St Michael's.
I thought the ref might have played advantage there. It's a tough one.
Oh, good. It was initially good soft hands there by Dave Walsh in the line out.
Good opportunity here for RTA to get some points on the board.
Their line out execution has been pretty good so far, so definitely the right option to push this to the corner. And he drops it right on the spot, 5 metres out. First attacking opportunity that RTA have had. Van den Heever throwing into this 5-man line out. Great take in the middle there. As Van den Heever comes round, gets his hands on that ball. Chad Lukey's first in and out. Some tidy work at the breakdown here from RTA, but some great defence from St Michael's. The referee's going to need to be alive here as RTA bear down on this St Michael's line. And some good work there in the end from Rigat Clock. Number 7 cuts the deficit, 14-5, kick to come.
It's a really important score from RTA. I think it's really the first time they've got into St Michael's 22 and made it count. game looked like it could possibly be running away from them. They've struck back when they needed to, and they're back in it.
There we go, like one, I mean, so then it works out to flights. And if, you know, we billed you for a couple of evenings and you do the same. I think that's a big thing. It's very increasing that.
And a good correction in the chat there from Kieran McKenna. Andy Skian is the St Michael's coach. So the kick is good. 14-7, the deficit now cut to. Oh, great take there from Dave Walsh. Slight knock on there from RTA on the kickoff reception, and Walsh was onto it like a flash. He's a big man. Both Ireland under 18s and under 19s. It's a good scrummage there from RTA, and initially the penalty going to RTA, but then the free kick. And interestingly, St Michael's have opted for another scrummage. I don't think it would have been my first choice if that had just happened to me.
I think they may be hoping they just had a slight lapse in concentration there.
I'm pretty
see what
sure
the next
that St Michael's won't make the same mistake twice. A lot lower in the front row as they bring this ball away. Charlie McConnell setting a target for his forwards there. Walsh striding through the contact there. The ruck speed of St Michael's is staying high, and they've got the penalty advantage that they're playing with. So pretty much playing with house money here. They can really give it a go. Walsh runs a dummy line there. Referee comes back for a high tackle. It'll be interesting to see whether they take the point. It's absolutely spot in front of the post, and yep, they take it. That's probably the pragmatic thing to do. As we've said several times, this wind is pretty gusty, and it would be pretty difficult to land it on the 5 metre from the middle of the field there. So Quigley, it looks like he's going to opt for a shot at goal here.
I think it's a good call. Just takes him 2 scores out.
And Quigley nails that penalty. Just gently trying to retake control of this game. As you've said a few times, Murray, the ruck speed of St Michael's is crucial here.
To be honest, again, as a coach, it's always very impressive to see the kind of unity that they clean out with. It's very impressive. You'd love to be in the back line.
Good take there, and a great offload there. Walsh is showing why he's an Ireland international. And the referee seeing hands in the ruck there maybe, but some impressive ball skills from Dave Walsh, the big man there. Miles Berman there in the shot. So RTA with an opportunity inside the St Michael's half. Really not had too many opportunities as we come up to the 24th minute of the game. Been down here precious few times. And St Michael's getting some hands in there and some really good play there and an excellent clean out. Oh, and the big spiral bomb downfield. It's rolling, rolling, rolling.
Gotta love a good old torpedo.
And I love the ambition that RTA are playing with, playing from deep. As we've said, it's pretty tough to play into this breeze. Pretty much blown end to end into the faces of RTA now. So far the set piece for St Michael's has been good. And another good take. Setting a really good target in midfield here. But bobbling the ball forward, and RTA have come away with this ball. Still playing with the advantage. They come back against the grain. Still keeping it relatively tight though. And referee adjudges that St Michael's had advanced offside, front of the back foot. A little bit of chat between the two sides. Always good to see some passion.
Yeah, I think you could see at the opening ceremony, all the teams were definitely up for a bit of competition. It was some standoffs in the captain's chat and photo shoot up front. Had a good laugh at some of the boys.
So a really good touch finder there from RTA, taking play down into the St Michael's half. A little bit of a balk there, probably lucky to get away with that. The big man, Cobus Eriksson. Van Heerden there. Oh, almost came off. You would have thought that the referee might have played an advantage there. It looked like it had dropped St Michael's way. They were certainly sweeping through there.
Yeah, I think one thing, St Michael's are starting to put pressure on the RTA line out. The first couple of throws were really good from RTA, and the last two, St Michael's have put a jumper up and started affecting the quality of possession that RTA are getting.
Yeah, I think with Dave Walsh in there, Fraser McKenna, they're throwing them up, and both of them have got good hands. Oh, free kick against St Michael's. And RTA playing with a bit of tempo here. It's actually done well to recover that. Zadian Dupree. St Michael's line is coming up hard. Oh, and a great steal there. And this could be... Oh! So, another one flirting with a corner flag, but I think it's going to be... Ooh. Well...
The AR was saying it was touched on the way through.
If it's touched on the way through, that would be a scrummage, I guess. So I think if they spot a scrummage, it must have been touched on the way through. If it's a line out, then maybe, yep, must have been adjudged to have been touched on the way through, because it certainly went touching goal. and it was deep touching goal, and it wasn't just by the flag. So I think St Michael's have dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, I got to say I didn't see the touch, but
RTA putting some real pressure on in the scrummage there, really bending the St Michael's front row. Oh, some good work there. St Michael's look really organised in these close quarters encounters, looking to smash the front door down here. Keep coming round the corner, and they've got some big men here. Dylan McNeese is hovering, Dave Walsh, but they've spilt it forward, and so the referee comes back for the penalty. Offside in an earlier phase. Some good defence there from RTA, and they're going to take another shot at goal. Probably a decent thing to do because we're absolutely in the shadows of half time. The Hooters about to go.
I think St Michael's are probably conscious of the fact that they're going to have to play into the wind in the second half, and just want to have a bit of a buffer going into half time.
Yeah, it's been as I say, it's always tough to get the ball close to the try line if kicking from in the middle there, and that's another solid strike. So 20 points to 7. Quigley in the 10 jersey has really led his side around. So a 13-point lead going into half time.
Need water wrap or just? That's something like maar 160 man. There's no good luck.
So we come back from half-time. St Michael's having nailed a couple of late penalties in that half, just edging 13 points ahead, 20 points to 7. They've been in the sheds, in the aircon, taking full advantage. And Billy O'Donoghue having a few quiet words with the referee, as every good front rower will do. Oh, and that is a fantastically committed take in the air there. It's a great start for St Michael's. Oh, and a really good bounce on there. Oh, pretty sharp play here from St Michael's. Charlie McConnell weaving his way through there. And not quite sure. There's obviously something at this initial phase, maybe playing the man in the air, but it was if that's what it was for, it's pretty difficult to avoid.
I thought that was a fair contest, to be honest. It was a great take.
Yeah,
but
fantastic work.
I don't think that was necessarily... I think he was trying to get the ball.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're potentially doing the referee a disservice. It might not have been for that, but it was a fantastic contest. So we've got some shadows starting to be cast by the huge grandstand here at Botana Sports Resort. And an early opportunity here for St Michael's hooker Maguire to throw into this line out. Oh, that's a good take at the front. And they've got a really good set here. But RTA didn't go up in the line out, and they had an initial good set. But St Michael's are inching closer as Maguire breaks away, and it looks like he's got the score. He backed himself and broke away there. So Duan Maguire, there he is, tucked in on the back of that, senses it's not going anywhere, rides those first couple of contacts and then stretches out. And he extends that half-time lead to 25 points to 7. Dream start for St Michael's.
All started by that fantastic take in the air off the short little kick-off.
Grab some ice. There is.
And a really good strike from Quigley, but a completely different proposition kicking into the breeze there. But 25 points to 7. Opened up some reasonable breathing space. And Rugby Travel Academy and Len Olivier will really want to be the next team to score here.
I think RTA need to figure out how they get their hands on the ball and get a bit of momentum into their attack.
They certainly need to keep the ball away from this big St Michael's pack. Certainly need to run them around a little bit. Got a penalty advantage as Lukey's digs in for that ball. Clock the try scorer in the first half. Oh. Big Cian O'Neill couldn't help himself coming round there. He knew before he hit the halfback what he was doing, but just couldn't stop his momentum from coming forward. RTA fly half. Deleu pushes RTA inside the 22.
he's looked pretty good on attack actually. He's given them some nice shape, takes the ball to the gain line quite well. Like to see a bit more of him running the attack.
Certainly offers a threat. Just takes a little, or gives a little bit of space to the man outside him. Oh, great ball there to Clock going round the front. He's quick thinking and he picks it up and steals another 3 or 4 yards. Big another crack around the front there. Stealing some real good yards here in close contact.
I don't know what you saw. I had a chance to see the email, but I wrote, was it yesterday?
Just about 4 metres away now.
Before, right?
Some big men.
Responded.
Duplessis.
Some camp in January 2025.
RTA is getting low in the drive here.
Nothing in there. So he's
Feeding the ball back.
About, best if you do it at April, but before the 24th. So
The big lock stretching out. Has he got there?
I think he has.
no, it's not.
That was Kian Duplessis.
Oh, we haven't put anything yet. We'll have golf academy for 3 months.
Great little line-out variation there from RTA. Got them on the front foot and they did really well. Couple of good pick and drives and then coming around the corner on the blind side. Good carry.
They won't take bookings on an empty calendar.
So every time we think that
And it's the last few days
RTA
of January.
might be dead and buried, they breathe life back into the game and the score.
They've shown us enough that they've got enough in their attack to actually be a threat to St Michael's. They just have to figure out how to actually get more primary possession. I think what St Michael's have done really well is controlled all of their set piece ball, especially their kickoffs and their lineouts. There's been a little bit of pressure come scrum time, but it's meant that RTA have really battled to get enough possession to actually be a consistent threat.
Wide out here. Really good strike. The ARs gave that a good look. I think it's sailed past the uprights there. So 25-12. 13-point game. Really good strike there. High, wide and handsome. Oh, they get to that ball first again. Ethan Black. Some really tidy play there. Playing to the space, some real heads-up rugby there from St Michael's. Oh, good drive there. And again, playing away quickly. Quigley on the ball, takes it into contact and gets scragged to the ground. St Michael's now playing with some real purpose. It's almost like the try stung him into action, Murray.
Yeah, again, their ruck speed's just been fantastic, and they're getting such good momentum. They really got great shape, and every time they get under pressure, they get a score. They seem to just come back immediately.
So some good driving on this tight side as they flood round the corner here. Quigley pushes a really wide pass. So penalty game right in front of the uprights. High tackle and Quigley making his way, and they opt for the shot. I think St Michael's is showing their absolute that they have come here to try and make a marker on the cup.
Again, I think it's the right decision to just keep on accumulating points.
Yeah, some people will often see this as boring and dull rugby, but games of rugby are for winning. St Michael's are going about their work in a really professional and tidy way.
As we saw in the previous game, it's important to take your points when you get them. You don't want to be in a situation where you, like in that previous game, where you're getting knocked out on a technicality. Knockout rugby.
So 28 points to 12. So Quigley has kicked some important points. High and hanging. Some good footwork as they carry that into contact there, St Michael's. They've been pretty tidy in their exits from kickoffs. And that's another deep raking kick. Oh, bounces, and a great ball into Ethan Black. Great work there from Pat Wood. Immediately back onto the front foot. Chris O'Connor now on at half back. St Michael's really bearing down now. Turning the screw. O'Connor makes a dart himself. We go to the big fellas. It's do or die here for RTA. Really need to repel this, and Quigley goes for the big wide pass. And Ethan Black has recycled himself all the way over to that far wing, having almost scored on the left wing. Some really, really clever play there from the Leinster and Ireland international Ethan Black. I apologise, that's Dan Ryan, who's part of the Ireland Sevens. They stuck 23, the number 23 for the number 13. So 33-12. So Quigley, probably his toughest kick so far today, wide out on the right hand touchline, kicking into the teeth of the breeze. Somebody trying the Cheslin Colby charge down, and he's nailed it. That is a fantastic kick there from Quigley.
Just waiting for the ball. I think RTA need to be quite strong mentally and try and get some scoreboard momentum. It's a little bit of time to go.
And a penalty to RTA. So an opportunity for RTA, about 7 metres from the St Michael's line. They've got the first part of this right, and they've got a good set here. St Michael's trying to envelop them here. RTA just inching closer the line. Now about 5 metres away. Driving tight and just recycling themselves. It's a bit like a washing machine in there. And St Michael's look like they've brought this one to ground. So deciding to keep the ball in hand here. Cutting back against the grain. Oh, perilously close there. St Michael's have turned it over. The referees decided that someone's come off their feet there. So another opportunity for RTA.
I think they're going to go for the corner here. What are we doing? Scrum.
Scrummage. Of the myriad of options there.
I think they changed their mind about 3 times.
That was the last thing I thought was going to come there. They didn't even think about kicking for the poles though, with 23 points down and 15 minutes to play. They need some 7-pointers here. Oh, some pretty direct play through the midfield there. Lukey's digs in for the ball. Number 10 mown down there by his opposite number. Some really good heads-up play though. Just testing the fringes of the St Michael's defence. But St Michael's look like they've held them up here. And that was pretty organised defence from St Michael's there. Just let them keep coming and coming. And there it is, water break, second half. St Michael's with a pretty commanding 23-12 lead as they make their way to try and find some shade. Some very weary looking bodies on this field now. Murray 45 minutes in.
Yeah, it's tough for RTA to try and get back in from here. I think they had a little bit of a lapse of concentration in about a 10-minute period, and St Michael's put a lot of points on the board, and they had a couple of opportunities in the last 5 minutes and just weren't able to convert them. I think they were a little bit short when they came out right here on numbers, and they weren't able to get outside. But St Michael's did really well there to hold the carry up and turn the ball over. So yeah, let's see. I mean, at the end of the last game, we thought we'd seen it all, and it was all but over. So I'm not quite sure if RTA can come back from here, but I'm not going to say no.
So a couple of questions in the chat there about RTA. That is Len Olivier, who is the head coach. RTA is an actual rugby academy that contracts players and tries to shape them to a life of professional rugby, something that Len played himself. So and also questions about where St Michael's are from. They are from Dublin in Ireland. Our friend in the chat, Kieran McKenna, all over it. Not sure if he's any relation to Fraser, who's playing number 5 for St Michael's. And Cardiff and Vale are playing next up, where they are playing against Oakdale from South Africa. Which should be another absolutely cracking matchup.
I think everybody who watched last year's tournament will remember that Cardiff and Vale ran Grey Bloemfontein quite close, so it should be a really good game.
Yeah, I think Cardiff and Vale have come back with feeling like they've got some unfinished business. So Chris O'Connor pulls the ball, and that's a very deep kick. Good work from RTA. Jaden DeLude carries the ball to the line. But a really good turnover, some really good close contact work there by St Michael's.
I think RTA may want to consider putting a few more guys into the breakdown on attack. They're just getting caught short on numbers, and it's killing their momentum.
Really good work there on the Jackal. Quigley there with a really good kick to touch. Oh, just through the fingertips there. Hard to tell whether it was overthrown or underlifted. But again, St Michael's just a half a beat quicker. Oh, and St Michael's really looking to twist the knife now.
I think they also watched the previous game, not taking any chances.
I guess they're also figuring that there are 2 more competition days to go. No sense in running the legs off yourself day one.
100%. I think with the format of the tournament being a knockout, you got to make sure you secure the win and that you got enough in the tank to go through to the next tough encounter.
It's like sevens tournaments. You don't win any prizes on day one. It's how many men you have standing on finals day. So Quigley, couple of steps, doesn't take a long run up. That was a really, really sweet strike, but no cigar. So RTA, the 22-metre dropout. Almost a thing of the past, the 22-metre dropout these days, Murray.
Yeah, it's becoming a rare sighting.
Oh, the big man's driving it back into the heart of RTA. Some fast feet there. Oh, the big fella, show and go.
Oh, just a little late on that pass. Just given a little bit earlier.
Young Harry Miller burst through that gap. Oh, really good line speed here from St Michael's. But just a little bit too good for the liking of the referee.
Talking about the referees, I've noticed, just looking at some of the ARs, that they're the same refs that were reffing at about 9 o'clock in the morning in the girls' 7. So it's just worth giving them a mention to say, what a great job they've done all day. And yeah, in the sweltering heat, it's a commendable effort from all of them.
Looks like Grunewald is on at hooker now. Big number 17 wins the ball back on the floor there. But Chad Lukes has run up a dark alley there, found himself bundled into touch. Michaels get an opportunity here. Another great take in the middle of the line out. St Michael's really mixing up their play here. Left and right, sometimes playing one off, sometimes the tip, and sometimes pulling out the back.
I think the only constant is the ruck speed. Is they doing it at a really high tempo, and it's causing a lot of problems for the RTA defence.
I think if they can continue to match this kind of ruck speed all week, they'll give any defence a run for their money.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a couple of coaches trying to make plans to counter it. They'll be sitting down tonight and looking at some game footage and trying to figure out how you can slow that down.
Oh, big collision there. Janneman Benson running into his own player there. On at half back, sharp feed though. Jaden Deleuze had just already started to make that pass before he'd secured it into his hands there. So somewhat of the air has gone a little bit out of this game now, Murray. I think the heat's really beginning to tell on these guys. Oh, great work there. Just feinted the ball on the inside, just squared the player up and then let the ball go. And RTA offside in midfield there. So Quigley stepping forward. And St Michael's are consistent, if nothing else.
Merciless, I can tell you that.
Definitely trying to preserve the legs of their men.
Let's go off strong. Let's go off for some clarification. Too much snow.
Not just thinking about winning this battle, but maybe thinking about trying to win the war overall.
We've had a couple of Irish sides over in South Africa in our winter, and they've found the heat tough there. So I'm sure this is actually a pretty smart strategy. You know, it's tough for us Southern Hemisphere teams to come and play here, so I can imagine for them it's even tougher. So yeah, makes sense.
Quigley, another lovely strike, but again, just the radar is off. But he does strike that ball very, very sweetly. Big high hanging 22. And a pretty committed drive there. Ball in two hands. Ed McLaughlin there. Oh, big hit there on Fraser McKenna. Some good work there.
Can't do that.
Really good tackle on McKenna, but the next man over the top, hands on the floor, and the referee's having none of it. So just about 3 minutes to go. St Michael's back in the RTA 22. Oh, a little bit of a trick play there at the tail of the line out, but St Michael's managed to bamboozle themselves there.
Their line-out work's been great today as well. I think I can only recall one miss. Don't know if another one, Cookie?
I don't think so. Walsh has been supreme in the middle of the line out. McKenna has also been good. And also Kean O'Neill, they've got some real tall timber. And then you add to that people like Dylan McNeese. And also Miles Berman. Some big men out there for St Michael's.
They've definitely put down a marker today, St Michael's.
Always hard to tell. I think Hartbury Westlake, that was a phenomenal game of rugby as well. And also in the cup, Eckert Janssen. They will not be any pushovers in the semi-finals. Chad Lukey's really given it a go, so the hooter has gone for time. The halfback recycles himself. Oh. So offside in the midfield. One last chance for RTA. And they're going to try and push this to touch and opt for the line out. Vanden Hever, final opportunity to put the ball into this RTA line. Oh, great work off the top there. Ball just drifting forwards on the wind, and a slight fumble on the floor, and that is the game. St Michael's run out, a pretty clinical 35 points to 12 winners over Rugby Travel Academy. Murray, final thoughts?
As I said, I think St Michael's have just put a marker down, very clinical in pretty much all of the facets of the game. Primary set piece play in particular, kick-off and line-out work exceptional. And let's see who's going to come up with an answer to that ruck speed. I think really important for young players to see how important it is to kind of be accurate with that rucking work on attack and how that gives your attack shape and momentum. They were, to be honest, been really exceptional in that facet of play.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're very reminiscent